Andy, a lot of people will go do an apology, and when there's been a problem of some kind. Unfortunately, it's been almost they do it by rote. Making it authentic in terms of really looking inside what they're doing and how they can actually connect more closely with when they give that apology.
Sure. Yeah. Well, you said you hit the nail on the head. People went from not apologizing at all 10 years ago for legal reasons or because they thought it showed weakness to apologizing at the drop of a hat now and sometimes disingenuously. We've all gotten that email that said, whoops, we screwed up and now we're sending you another email with a coupon code in it. Very transparent form of manipulating our emotions. But apologies done well can be extremely powerful. There's a bit of research that my co-author did, ironically, on the basis of the first startup I was involved in, and it related to the fact that we were a very fun brand, very hip and cool. We were selling textbooks to college kids, and we had just the most sort of greatest design team and greatest brand team that completely positioned off of the terrible overpriced campus bookstore and just made them look really ridiculous by comparison. But it turned out that we actually weren't very good at actually getting people their books because you'd have kids call up and say, hey, I ordered the books before class began and it's 6 weeks into class and they're not here, so hey, what's up? And then we'd have, our customer service would be like, dude, we're so sorry. That really sucks. And so I'm going to look into where those books are for you. And in the meantime, here's some bouncy balls and some stickers and stuff and whatever. And the weirdest result was that student might never get their books, but they would go out and say, big words, it's just the coolest company ever. And it was just mystifying. It wasn't disingenuous that we were apologizing. It was just that we weren't very good at the things that sort of made for a good book-selling business. But the research that Jennifer did positioned off of this and thought, okay, well, is there something about the brand that causes this to happen? And the long and short of it is that found out that some brands are able to apologize and do well, and some brands are not. And it seems like the fundamental difference is what's the nature of the relationship that the brand has with its customers. So we had what you'd call sort of an excitement-based brand or fun-based brand. And that if we were doing a brand as a person exercise, we'd be the cool kid. And everyone else would be sort of following us. And one thing that you can recognize a cool kid has at his disposal is the ability to lend their cool to someone else. So it turns out that when you apologize, you show some humanity and something that isn't quite so cool. And when you actually apologize and have it be sincere, that actually lends some of the cool to the person who's receiving the apology. And instead of seeing you as weak, they actually just love you all that much more because now the transaction has increased, their conception of themselves, and they will go out and say great things about you and forget some of the facts. By comparison, if your brand is based on trust and the thing you violate relates to trust, say getting the books on time, there's really not an opportunity there because you've violated the fundamental tenet of the relationship. And this is one of the things that when we talk to companies about, what are the tenets they build their brand on, it's not that they want to be untrustworthy. It's that they may not want to put quite so much emphasis on how trustworthy they are because it doesn't give them a lot of opportunity for recovering from an uncontrollable situation. They're better off to actually position to the other emotions because everyone believes that companies and brands must have a fundamental level of trust. But if that is the core basis of your relationship, if you're a financial institution or something like that, it makes it hard. Hey, I know you bank with us and we just lost all your money. It doesn't matter if they come back and say, oops, it turns out that we have it again. So we're good, right? I mean, what's the first thing you'd do? Right. So anyway, but that's sort of the fundamental insight. And so is the first, for a company considering is that think about what is the nature of the contract you have with your customers, and does it lend itself to an apology? And then the next step, given that you could probably, you're probably not entirely trust based, look at what the transgression did for them and how it made them feel. Go through a design thinking exercise where you deeply examine the point of view of the affected customer, particularly the one who's most likely to get out and talk about it, and really speak to them and make sure the apology incorporates that, because people are going to look at any apology for the degree of sincerity it contains. Because if it's not sincere, it actually becomes a very powerful weapon against you.